The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Madam Speaker, I yield for as much time as he may consume to the gentleman from New York, a member of the Intelligence Committee and the ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee.
The gentleman from New York is recognized.
Madam Speaker, I thank the gentleman from Texas for yielding, and I rise in strong support of this resolution. As the gentleman from Texas indicated earlier, it's unfortunate that it's only at times like this that many of the American people realize just what an outstanding service is performed by the men and women of the Central Intelligence Agency day in and day out, year in and year out. They perform missions and they put themselves at risk in ways that many of us cannot even imagine. I've only been a member of the Intelligence Committee for less than a year, but during that time I've had the opportunity to visit with members of the CIA at remote outposts, seeing the type of conditions under which they live, seeing the burdens they bear, seeing the risks that they endure. And it should be reminded to all of us that not only do we honor these 7 men and women who were murdered in the line of duty, not only do we offer our condolences to the family members of those who were killed, and not only do we pray for those who are recovering from their wounds, but we should also, I think, take an extra moment to express our solidarity for those that are in the field today, those who are doing, as we're standing here on the House floor today speaking, as we go back to our apartments tonight, as we go back to our districts over the next several days and be with our families, that there are men and women who are out there who will not be with their families, who will not be living in the comfort that we take for granted in this nation. And it also should be reminded to us that we should not be find ourselves being Monday morning quarterbacks or second-guessing these men and women who are in the field, who have to make literally life and death decisions at any moment. And sometimes looking back at them years later, we can say they should have done this, they should have done that. The reality is they are the people on the front lines. They are the people actually, as Congressman Miller said, almost beyond the front lines. They are as remote as you could be in many instances, and also have to take extraordinary risks, as they did in this situation, because if we are going to win the war against terrorism, we have to obtain the intelligence. We have to get that information that is so vital to heading off attacks. And we can't do it just by intercepts. We can't do it always in a neat and easy way. It has to be done by people putting themselves on the line, actually going out and meeting with those who may turn out to be, as in this case, double agents or triple agents. So let's just, again, express heartfelt admiration, our sympathy, our sense of condolence for all these people who, again, died so tragically, these brave men and women, but also keep in mind that there are many, many more brave men and women out in the field today doing this exact same type of work, and they deserve our support. So it's not only at times like this, in times of tragedy, that we acknowledge them, but we acknowledge them 365 days a year for the work that they do. And with that, I, again, am proud to support the resolution, and I yield back the balance of my time.
This is the gentleman from New York.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And at the outset, let me thank Chairman Thompson of the Homeland Security Committee and my good friend from New York, Congresswoman Clark, for her strong efforts on this legislation, which is truly bipartisan, and by the addition of 2 additional cities, makes it truly a national program in scope. Madam Speaker, when we look at London, we look at Madrid, it becomes clear that a very likely means of attack by terrorists in the United States would be from suburban areas into urban areas. And certainly in New York, which is the #1 terrorist target in the world, enormous steps have been made to protect us against that type of attack, specifically a dirty bomb attack coming from outside the city through the highways, the parkways, the tunnels, the bridges, actually into Manhattan itself, which has been already, as we know, devastatingly on September 11th, also in 1993, been attacked by Islamic terrorists, but also a number of other plots against New York City have been thwarted. So New York City is definitely the target, the main target in the country. But there are any number of other cities that are as well. And that's why I believe the program which has been implemented in New York can be a model for other cities throughout the country. Now, I was very concerned last year when the administration decided to zero out all money for this funding in its budget. This was, I believe, a serious mistake. Fortunately, Congress, by appropriating $40 million in this House and then finally $20 million when it came back from the conference committee, did continue to fund this program, because we need these radiological detectors on the highways, the toll plazas, the bridges, the tunnels. And I've had the privilege of attending a number of these drills and training sessions when they are conducted. And as Representative Clark said, we're not just talking about New York City. We're talking about a large number of police departments and first responders, fire departments, EMS services from not just New York City, but from Long Island, from Connecticut, from New Jersey. We're talking about the state police. We're talking about federal support as well. And to see them all working together, to working in a cohesive way to stop what would be the absolutely devastating impact of a dirty bomb attack, the human toll that would take, the devastating economic impact it would have, the fact that it would make parts of the city unlivable for extended periods of time, the fact that it would, in effect, cut off transportation into New York City. All of these are reasons why we have to go ahead and continue with this Secure the Cities program. It's no guarantee, but it is another layer of defense that we need to protect ourselves against a terrorist attack. And as we know, the terrorists are constantly adapting, and we have to try to stay one step ahead of them. We have to always be on our guard. It's the old axiom that we have to be lucky all the time. They only have to be lucky once. So we have to rely on more than luck. We have to have preparation. We have to have layered defense. And that's why I'm so proud to support this legislation, which will, in effect, almost set in stone the importance of the Secure the Cities program, and will expand it beyond New York City, because while, again, Congresswoman Clark and I feel that those of us in the New York area are the main targets, the fact is a human life is a human life. An American life is an American life. And whether it's New York City or any other city in this country, any certainly major urban area, I believe this program is adaptable and compatible to those areas. So, again, I thank Congresswoman Clark for her effort. I thank the bipartisan support that we have for this legislation, and I certainly strongly urge its adoption. I reserve the balance of my time.
From New York is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, again, let me thank Congresswoman Clark for her leadership on this. Let me also thank Ranking Member Dan Lundgren for his work, and let me especially thank Mr. Schiff for his efforts on this and so many other efforts on behalf of our national security. I have the privilege of serving with Mr. Schiff in the Intelligence Committee, so I have firsthand knowledge of the dedication which he brings to issues such as this. And I say, Madam Speaker, I rise in strong support of H.R. 730. And let me just say that in many ways this is the other side of the same coin. We just adopted 2611, which is to prevent nuclear attacks against our cities. H.R. 730 will enable us to detect where those nuclear devices came from. It's absolutely essential that we deal with the process of determining the source of confiscated nuclear material. This is a grave, grave threat to our homeland, and it must be addressed immediately and robustly. We must have a rigorous attribution program to find the culprits of these crimes and to offer a deterrent to nuclear terrorism. Now, the one concern I do have is that the bill as amended coming back from the Senate does not authorize the appropriation of $30 million. I believe that is important. It's essential that we have it. But again, this is a major step forward, so I am pleased to support the legislation, even though I wish that the $30 million had been included in it. But this bill targets an ongoing threat in a unique way. It will reinvigorate the workforce pipeline to guarantee the nation a resource of technical experts in this vital and critical field, and strengthen America's attribution capabilities. And again, this is a bipartisan effort. It's the Homeland Security Committee working with Mr. Schiff and the Intelligence Committee. It's important that we pass this and really, again, send a strong signal how we do believe in layered defenses, how we realize the necessity of staying ahead of the terrorist threat, and doing all we can to protect the American people in a way which certainly transcends Republican or Democratic lines or liberal or conservative lines. It's an issue that should galvanize all Americans. So with that, I strongly urge support of H.R. 730, and I reserve the balance of my time.